Dave Villwock. And as Steve said, an amazing story. The boat flipped in Heat 2A. It's back together, and he is out to defend his Atomic Cup championship.
Looking for the second flippin' win in the history of unlimited hydroplane racing. Here's the doctor, Ken Muscatel, in the orange and white 2.25, racing here as Graham Trucking.
Jimmy King, the U-3 Conover Insurance piston-powered unlimited hydroplane. Jimmy's had a pretty good day so far today with 700 points coming into the third heat.
Mike Allen normally would not be in this heat, but he will be because he's going to drive his teammate's boat. The U5, FormulaBoats.com, will be handled by Mike Allen.
J.W. Myers in the U10. That's the Solutions Plus, and J.W. getting a little more seat time in this boat, and he's ready to go boat racing.
Jean Theoret, the defending Gold Cup champion now, and French-Canadian who has really taken the sport by storm. He'll be in the U37. Certainly will be one of the boats to beat in the Beacon Plumbing.
And the trailer boat will be Chris Bertram in the U9 Jackson Sports Bar. We mentioned a minute ago he was having a little trouble getting spooled up down at the east end of the course, but he's on the course and running now, so we've got everybody on the course, Steve.
Jimmy King in the red boat, the U3, really has this thing under control. He has 700 points on the day. All he has to do is finish this heat anywhere on the river, and he's going to make the final. Dave Villwock in the Elam Plus has 400, as does Jean Theoret after a disqualification yesterday. The U5, between Allen and Weber, they have 427 points. They all have a pretty good shot to make the final, as does J.W. Myers in the Solutions Plus. He has 469. The rest of the guys out there are going to have to hustle. Namely, Ken Muscatel and Chris Bertram are going to have very good finishes here if they have any hope of making the final heat.
Looking at J.W. Myers going up the backstretch, and there is a boat to his outside. Can't tell exactly who it is in the spray, but there is somebody out to his right. Everybody else slowing down a little bit too.
It's the U3. It's Jimmy King who's off to his right, so J.W. is going to have lane one. Jimmy will not.
I think
now.
John Theoret wants lane one.
Well, he couldn't fit in there. He had to pull out to 3, and he actually pulled in front of Ken Muscatel to do that, so that'll move the doctor out into lane 4. So it's going to be J.W. Myers in lane 1 in the yellow U10. Jimmy King is going to be right beside him, which is not good news for J.W. because they'll have trouble staying with him down to the first turn. Then out in lane 3, I believe you'll have Jean Theoret and Ken Muscatel in lane 4. That's the way they'll shape up as they turn around toward us now.
Villwock is going to be in lane number 5, and on the very outside, it looks like it will be Mike Allen at the FormulaBoats.com as they swing around, straighten it out, head down the front straightaway. We're at 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's going to be very close.
Looks like a legal start and a great start for J.W. on the inside, but a lot of speed on the outside as Mike Allen went around the field out in about lane 6. The French-Canadian Jean Theoret made a terrible start. He's way back in the rooster tails, so quite a story there. And our leader, as they get to the apex of the first turn, is J.W. Myers in the U10 in lane 1.
And he's on the inside. Everybody else is on the outside. Dr. Ken Muscatel is slowed down way on the outside at the Blue Bridge turn, and Jean Theoret goes by him. But the story right now is your leader. You're seeing him on the screen. It's J.W. Myers in the U10 Miss Solutions Plus. Jimmy King just about one rooster tail behind, but it looks like Dave Villwock in second place. Jimmy King just inside of him as they come to the top turn, Steve.
Jimmy King is in between boats, and he has to hope the turbine guys leave room for him. J.W. Myers on the inside has control of the turn now as he turns down toward us. There you see Villwock in the orange boat, and in between them, there isn't much room for Jimmy King. He's back there in the rooster tails, and that's going to slow him down. Mike Allen is making a hard charge on the outside in the Formula Boats. There's your leader, less than a rooster tail back to second, and about that far to third. Those three very close.
Very, very close, and the fourth place boat is in there as well as J.W. Myers leads him down into the Blue Bridge turn. Jean Theoret, a very bad start, and he is half a stretch, front stretch away from the rest of the pack. J.W. Myers leads him through the turn. Dave Villwock has dropped back just a little bit. Jimmy King has dropped back just a little bit. Second place now, Dave Villwock. He's buried in the rooster tail of the Solutions Plus. And in third place right now, Mike Allen has taken over third place, and Jimmy King is trailing him down. He's still in fourth place, Steve.
Jimmy King finally has his windshield clear. He's been in rooster tails since the start of this heat. Now he has a little bit of room to run, but he's back in fourth place. Our leader is J.W. Myers. He told me he liked this race boat, and you can see why. It's a former Miss Budweiser T3 purchased by Kim Gregory out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the USA Racing Partners. But J.W. is going to have his hands full now because Dave Villwock is reeling him in the bright orange Elam Plus.
And he's just about to go by him. And Steve, they are coming up on Dr. Ken Muscatel. They're going much faster than he is. And by the time they get to the exit of the Blue Bridge turn, they've got some traffic in front of them to deal with. Maybe they'll go on either side of Ken Muscatel. Hopefully he'll give him a little bit of racing room. Dave Villwock has now taken the lead from J.W. Myers as they exit the Blue Bridge turn and come upon Dr. Ken Muscatel, who trails the field. Dave Villwock just lights the fire and heads up the backstretch and leaves J.W. Myers in his wake.
J.W. got on the inside of the doctor's rooster tail, got rough water in there, and it slowed him down a little bit. We have a good race back in third and fourth place as well, as two red boats have hooked it up side by side. Mike Allen running on the outside in the U5, FormulaBoats.com, and Jimmy King off to his left. You are looking at our leader. It is now Dave Villwock in the repaired, rather remarkably, Miss Elam Plus, a boat that was high in the sky the last time it was out here on the race course. Now he's coming down to take the checkered flag. Dave Villwock has probably just won his way into the final heat. Quite a story there. Second place to J.W. Myers in the U10, and then Mike Allen, a pretty good job in the red U5. He's going to finish third, and Jimmy King a distant fourth, which is a surprise, but he did not need a lot of points. He'll be in the final anyway.
He will be. Dave Villwock looks like he's still racing, maybe just doing a little spin through that Blue Bridge turn at speed, and now heading up the backstretch again. Maybe thinks he needs to just take another lap.
Now we got a bit of a story here because Jean Theoret just crossed the line in fifth place. That does not score a lot of points, and remember, he lost 400 from a DSQ on a fuel violation. So after the running of Heat 3B, he's got to hope he gets a little help.
Chris Bertram is way up in the air as he heads down the front straightaway. He'd finished the race as well, but he got a couple of really big bounces as he came.
You had a great camera shot of it. The young man wanting to find out what it's like to go fast, so he does it at the end of the heat and just about blew that white boat over. I was saying that Jean Theoret is not a lock to make the final heat. He did not score a lot of points there, Mark, and he had 400 previously, so that's going to be a little edgy for him. He'll have to watch how things go here in Heat 3B to see if he gets to go in the final.
And Ken Muscatel will come around now to take the checkered flag, finishing sixth in this heat. Everybody will head back to the pits.
Pretty good run for J.W. Myers in his new ride. He wasn't able to hold off Dave Villwock, but he did a good job. Muscatel actually in seventh place, I think, as he was passed by Chris Bertram, the trailer boat. We'll check that for you, but we think we move Chris up into sixth place, and the doctor takes seventh as he slowed down a little bit in the middle lap. Impressive run, I thought, by J-Dub in the yellow boat, but just a little too much orange boat on the outside for him.
Right, and he nailed the start once again. That was a great start by about 4 or 5 of the drivers. The one driver who did not make a good start was Jean Theoret, and that cost him a little bit of time.
Chris Bertram learned something in that race, and it was just how high you can fly the boat without blowing it over.
That's right.
He came very, very close and gave us a little bit of a thrill here as he was starting to cool down.
He had finished his 3 laps as well, so he was heading back around for one more lap. We will be back in just a moment. We'll give you the finish order and more racing coming up the Atomic Cup 2006.
Hey, welcome back. We got Dave Villwock, just won the heat after flipping earlier in the day. What is going on with you guys? How do you make such a complete 180?
Well, we're just running hard. You know, we're doing the best we can to get the Miss Elam out front. You know, and it's tough. It's competitive, and we're just racing as hard as we can every time. Hats off to the team for getting the boat back in one piece after I tore it up.
How about making that big pass on lap 2? Talk me through that one.
Well, we're just trying to run as hard as we could to get around J-Dub, and you know, that's a fast boat. I know. I won a lot of races in that boat, so that was a hard run for us.
Now, when you're going around, when you're crossing that spot where you flipped in the first heat, you try to block that out, or is that always on your mind?
Nah, it's just, you know, you just get in the boat and keep doing what you've been doing for a lot of years.
All right, the defending champion is back with the heat win. Guys, back to you.
Alrighty, back here at the start-finish line, let's take a look at the final results for Heat 3A.
Won by Dave Villwock in a charge from behind. He did not make a great start, and he really had to drive around some boats in the first turn. Very capable of doing that, of course, and by the time they got onto the backstretch, he was the leader, and there wasn't much of a question after that.
And once again, we saw Dave start from about lane number 4 or 5, I think it was. He's edging out. He's making his starts from farther and farther out.
Good run also for J.W. Myers in second place, and Mike Allen in his teammates' boat, the U5, FormulaBoats.com. Sounds like we're taking a break. We'll be right back on the Columbia River.